Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Rookie Card Collector 123 video. Today's episode is going to be a fun one. We're going to take a look at some of my minor league baseball card collection. Many of these cards I collected as a kid, as a teenager, during the late 70s and through the 80s and early 90s. So the minor league cards back then, these were a challenge, similar to a lot of the numbered and autographs and game used cards and things like that of today in modern times. Back then, all we had up until 81 was just the Topps basic set. And before the invention of the internet, you really only had access to the few cards that were available either through the mail or if you had a local card show or a card store where you lived, whatever they happened to have there, that was pretty much it. So you had no idea what kind of regional issues were out there, things like that. So one of the options beyond just collecting the Topps and then eventually Fleer and Donruss and then later on Score and Upper Deck, one of the options that I decided to go into was the minor league issues. Most of these were put out by a company called TCMA. They started up around the early to mid 1970s. I believe 73 or 74 was the first year of issue. They only did a few scattered teams. And throughout the rest of the 70s, they kind of built up a bigger base of cards, doing many of the minor leagues and many of the teams within those leagues through the early to mid 80s. And by the mid 80s, Pro Cards became the premier minor league card set issuer. These were all typically sold at ballparks, minor league stadiums, in the format of team sets, kind of like the 83, 84, 85 Star basketball was. It came in a sealed little plastic packet, and you got a complete team set. You knew who was in every set. It came with a checklist, and whichever team was in your local area, that's generally the team you were able to get, other than if you saw something available, like I said, either through the mail or a local card show or card shop. So I enjoyed collecting these. The main idea at least for me, was looking for the top prospects and the guys that would become major league stars one day. I wasn't so much into having the complete set. Most of the others just kind of got pushed aside. The players that never made it to the majors and things like that. I was mainly interested in the top guys, as a lot of collectors were, and still obviously today. So I'm going to show. I put them all in alphabetical order by year. I'm going to show player by player, starting with the A's. Over several episodes. Today, I think we're going to look at A through C. Hopefully, it's something you enjoy. I grew up, like I said, following baseball and collecting cards in the 70s and then into the 80s and early 90s before, college years and all. So many of you, I'm 57, many of you probably fall into maybe a similar time frame. So you're probably going to recognize almost everybody here. I've only pulled out the stars, the Hall of Famers, no commons really. So just about everybody I'm going to show should be recognizable to just about all collectors out there. So first one we're going to look at alphabetically. This is a 1992 Classic Best. This is Bob Abreu. Abreu was a outfielder primarily for the Houston Astros early in his career. Eventually moved on to the Phillies. I'm not going to go into too many details. Most of you probably recognize these players. I just want to show the cards. So I'm just going to identify the card, who it is, and move on. This is a 1995 Signature Rookies. These were an autograph in every pack card issue. You got one autograph, and I think 3 or 4 cards came in a small pack. They were, I think, around $1.50 at the time, maybe something like that. This is Abreu signature, and these were all numbered. And they did a sort of a reproduction commemorative old judge series that year, 1995, Abreu autograph. Roberto Alomar, 1988 Wichita. I'm sorry, 1987 Wichita Pilots, minor league system of San Diego Padres at the time. Brady Anderson, 1986 Red Sox minor league team, Winter Haven. Carlos Baerga, 1987 Charleston, also Padres minor league team. Baerga, of course, would be a star second baseman for the Cleveland Indians throughout the 90s. Baerga, 1986, the year before. Also, same Charleston Rainbows team. Jesse Barfield. This was a 1981 to 82 Venezuelan Winter League image. So this was not the minor leagues. This was made in Venezuela. These cards were produced to stick into an album. So many of these have back damage, paper loss issues, kind of like this one, having removed it from the album. Sorry, I should have shown the backs of the minor league cards generally have the previous year stats and a little bio information on the player. I'm not going to show the backs. Jesse Barfield, 1978 Dunedin Blue Jays minor league card. This is one of the earliest minor league issues. Tough one. The earlier ones are very tough to find. Derek Bell, 1989 Pro Cards. Blue Jays minor league card. Derek Bell with Myrtle Beach, Blue Jays minor league card, 1988, the year before. George Bell, 1982, TCMA, star outfielder for the Toronto Blue Jays. Joey Bell, 1988, star minor league with the Indians. Would later go on to change his name to Albert Bell. Premier slugger for the Cleveland club during primarily the 1990s. Dante Bichette, 1988, Edmonton, AAA, California Angels. 1986, Dante Bichette, Palm Springs, single A ball. Another one of the earlier cards, 1979, Jackson Mets, Hubie Brooks. Brooks was a shortstop. Became a bigger star when he went to Montreal in the mid 80s, made a couple of National League All Star teams. 1985, 1984, Tom Browning, left hand pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds. Excellent record throughout the mid to late 80s, early 90s. Tom Bernansky, who's a star outfielder on the Minnesota Twins World Championship teams in the late 1980s. Tom Bernansky again. This one is a 1980 El Paso. This is in the California Angels minor league system. Ellis Burks came up with the Boston Red Sox, had more fame later on with the Colorado Rockies in the National League. This is a New Britain 1986 Pro Cards issue. There's a little nicer image of Burks. This is 87 Pawtucket when he was at AAA the year before he came up to the Red Sox. Burks was an excellent all-around player, 2020 guy, homers, stolen bases, excellent center fielder. This is a 1987 Pawtucket. This was an All-Star game card produced for the All-Star teams in the International League. This one is a 1984. This was put out by Kramer. This was sort of a regional issue in the Midwest. So this is Ivan Calderon. He's a little more nondescript than most of the other players we've looked at. He was an outfielder with Seattle, was a five-tool guy coming up from the minor leagues, and never really developed into a much of a big star in the majors. But talented guy and hit some home runs and decent average. Here's Ken Caminiti. Um, the sad story with steroids and all. This was him in 1987, Double A All-Star team with the Columbus Astros. Caminiti would win a National League MVP as a third baseman for San Diego. This is Caminiti's first minor league card from Columbus, 1980s, 1987. Columbus Astros again. This is the team set issue. This is a 1986 Jose Canseco. This was sort of a commemorative card. It was part of the 86 team set, but it shows Canseco in his 85 Huntsville Stars uniform. He would be up in the majors in 86 with the Oakland A's. And he won MVP in the Southern League with Huntsville in 85. And here's the actual 85 Huntsville Canseco card. These were put out and sponsored by Burger King, as you can see from the logo. 85 Huntsville Stars the year before Canseco was up in the majors. And the best Jose Canseco minor league pre-rookie is this 83 Madison Muskies. These were put out by Larry Fritsch. Larry Fritsch was a longtime card dealer going back to the 1970s out in the Midwest. I believe he's from Wisconsin. He produced his own card set in 83 of Midwest League players, which is low A ball. And Jose Canseco was one of the stars in that league at that time. This would have been pre-steroids, so you see a much smaller, thinner Canseco here, 1983, 3 years before his ascent to the majors with Oakland. Next, we have a 1975 International League All-Stars, Gary Carter. Carter's only minor league issue before he made it to the majors with the Expos. This one pictures him with the Memphis Blues. International League AAA ball. Here we have Joe Carter, 1984 Iowa Cubs. So this was the season where Carter would later come up to the major leagues with the Major League Chicago Cubs. This is with Iowa, put out by TCMA again. This is his card from the year before, 83 TCMA. He was also with the Iowa Cubs, American Association. Next one is it might be the earliest one that I own. It's a 1975. This was a regional card that was put out. This is Jack Clark. He was in the New York Giants, San Francisco Giants farm system at this time, mid 70s. Would come up with the Giants in 77. So this is Clark in 75. I believe this is picturing him with, it says the Drillers. I'm not sure which city that was from. But a black and white image of Clark, the earliest minor league card that I have. This one is a 76. The following year, Clark is pictured here in the Phoenix Giants. So this was his AAA club. Again, this one's sponsored by Coca-Cola. You can see the logo in the corner there. That was a nice team set issue. This one might be very familiar to a lot of you. This is a TCMA 1984 Pawtucket Red Sox, Roger Clemens, the Rocket. His only minor league card before coming up to the Boston Red Sox later in 1984. And his now famous 84 Fleer Update rookie card. Next, we have Vince Coleman in a 1984 Riley's. This was a regional set put out. This is him in his Louisville Redbirds uniform, his AAA club before he went up to the St. Louis Cardinals in 1985. So Vince Coleman, one of the all-time great stolen base guys. And the last player we're going to look at is David Cohn. We've actually got several different cards for David Cohn. So this is, I believe, his latest minor league card, which was 1986 Omaha. This was put out by TCMA. Here we have his 1985, also Omaha AAA Royals, also put out by TCMA. We have his 1984 TCMA. This is with the Memphis Chicks, so this was a AA team for Cohn. And last but not least, his earliest, which is 1982. Charleston Royals. This was single A, his earliest minor league card. Cohn, of course, starred for initially it came up with the Royals, starred for the Mets in the late 80s, moved on to the Yankees, and was a borderline Hall of Fame caliber pitcher. Still not in the Hall of Fame yet, though. So that's going to wrap up today's episode of my minor league collection. A lot of these I had growing up. Some of these I've added in recent years to fill in some holes in the collection. Hope you like this concept. It's not vintage or pre-war so much, but I thought just a fun break from our normal episodes that we cover Hall of Fame rookie cards, Negro League material, and other related subjects. So anyway, hope you liked the video. Have a great day, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.